What's going on, everybody? This is Joe.
And Amy.
And we are back with another MTG Arena video. Last time, we played some Worlds 26 Showcase, which was actually a lot more fun, I think, than either of us thought it would be.
Yeah.
It was a really good time.
I did have a really good time.
Yeah, Amy picked a deck that I knew I would enjoy going in, but I then enjoyed it more than I thought I would as well. And we did pretty okay, so check out that last video if you missed it. And now, since prior to the last video, we were going through a ranked Theros Beyond Death draft, and then they changed the ranked draft to Guilds of Ravnica for some weird reason. We're going to keep drafting the current set, as that makes the most sense, and draft some Theros Beyond Death. If you're unaware of how this channel works, we are going to be taking our sweet time. So presumably this entire video is going to just be us drafting. If you think that we should be going faster and etc., then this is definitely not the video for you, and I apologize for that. But the way that we do things around here is I am a little bit more of an experienced player.
Yeah, and I am not.
And so I'm going to be letting Amy make the majority of the decisions. But Amy, if as you know, if you get to a certain point and you're like, I'd like some help here,
right,
I'm more than happy to give you advice on things. But we've now done this at least once before, if not twice. So you are beginning to know, like, oh yeah, that card's great. We'll pick that one. You know, that kind of thing.
I'm starting to sort of figure out what's good in this set a little bit.
Yeah. So here we go. Oh God, why? That's better. Okay, so like, we have our rare is the Akroan War.
Oh.
A saga. 3 and a red for a saga. So, as soon as we play it, we would gain control of target creature for as long as the Akroan War remains on the battlefield.
Okay.
Then, on our next turn, after we draw our card, until our next turn, creatures our opponents control attack each combat if able. And then on our third turn, so now they've attacked with all their creatures.
Okay.
Okay. Now, at the beginning of our next turn, each tapped creature deals damage to itself equal to its power.
Love it. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
That is our rare. Just to look at least our uncommons.
I like it. It's
okay.
funny.
Do you want to just pick it? Or
I kind of do.
Okay. Because again, nothing crazy here, right? This is an enchant creature. Gives it +2/+2 in first strike, and says whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create a 1/1 human soldier. Okay. Which is not a bad card, but
whatever.
It's Sea God's Scorn is 6 mana for a sorcery, but you get to return up to 3 target creatures and or enchantments to their owner's hands.
Wow. All right.
And 1 mana Mystic Repeal instant, put target enchantment on the bottom of its owner's library. Okay. And don't forget there are enchantment creatures.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So, this is a great card. This is a cool card. This is cool. But do you like this the most?
I do.
Okay. Then we're going red at least for now. Hey, look. Ooh, Daxos. So, the rare is missing out of this pack. But we have Daxos first. We had him in our last draft.
He was great.
Yes, he was very good. We have 1 with the stars, 3 and a blue for an enchantment, aura, enchant creature, or enchantment. Enchanted permanent is an enchantment and loses all other card types. So notably, this could make a creature into just an enchantment. It would no longer be able to attack or block. It would still have all of its abilities, though, but it is 4 mana. Or the Nessian Hornbeetle.
I love him. He's so cute.
He's 1 and a green for a 2/2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control another creature with power 4 or greater, you put a +1/+1 counter on Nessian Hornbeetle. And notably, the power 4 or greater deck is green-red, if you wanted to go that route. Other notable cards here, Nylea's Forerunner, 5/3 with Trample, gives our other stuff Trample.
Pretty sweet.
And Final Death.
Ooh, exile target creature.
At instant speed for 5 mana in black. No, that's a good thing. I mean, it's a fine card.
5 mana is a lot.
I agree with you. But it is a very good card.
Instant speed.
Very good. There's also Cetessan Training as well. I think if you're going to pick a green card, there are 2 better options for you. If you want to stick red, literally the only red card in this entire pack is Final Flare. 2 and a red instant. As an additional cost to cast it, sack a creature or an enchantment, and then this deals 5 damage to a creature. But you do have to sack one of yours to be able to do it. So, what stands out to you in this pack?
I mean, Daxos.
Daxos.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to go red-white? Kind of?
Yeah.
Okay. Not a problem. So, now we have the rare is missing and an uncommon are missing out of this pack. We have Blood Aspirant. 1 and a red for a 1/1 Satyr Berserker. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on Blood Aspirant. So now, and then this, 1 and a red taps, sack a creature or an enchantment, and it deals 1 damage to target creature. That creature can't block this turn. So, I've talked to you about this before, but I don't know if you recall. When a card, specifically in red or another color, says sacrifice, like it cares about you sacrificing things, or it lets you sacrifice things, what 2 colors of a deck do you remember? What 2 color deck that wants to be in?
Black.
And red.
And red.
Yeah, you got it. Absolutely. So if you want to stick with Daxos, this is probably not your best pick.
Right.
This is a gold card, white and black. So if you wanted to move away from the Acrone War and go into black, you could choose this. Choose one or both. First of all, it's a 5-mana sorcery, 3 white-black for a sorcery. Choose one or both. Return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, and return an aura from your graveyard to the battlefield. Not a bad card at all, but it would require you to go into another color. There's the Daybreak Chimera, which cares about devotion to white. We had this in our last deck.
Yeah.
But Daxos cares about devotion to white.
Oh, he does.
His toughness cares about devotion to white. His toughness is equal to our white devotion. But he on the field alone is a 2/2.
Yeah.
And this costs X less, where X is your devotion to white. So even if we have nothing else on the field, this is 5 mana for a 3/3 flying, which is not the worst thing in the world.
No.
But for each of our white pips on the field, it would be one of these 3 less.
Okay.
So it would be at minimum 2 white to cast it. There is a Pious Wayfarer. It is 1 mana for a 1/2, and whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under our control, we choose target creature to get +1/+1 until end of turn. So it could be himself, but it could be a different creature if we wanted. We have a counterspell. We have a Mire's Grasp. Enchanted creature gets -3/-3 for 2 mana. We have the Rage-Scarred Berserker is a 5/4, and when it enters, one of our creatures gets +1/+0 and indestructible until end of turn. Temple Thief is a 2/2 for 2. Can't be blocked by enchanted creatures or enchantment creatures.
Okay.
Aspect of Manticore. When it enters, the creature gains first strike, and it permanently gets +2/+0 because it's an enchant creature.
Nice.
Satyr's Cunning is 1 red sorcery, make a satyr that says this creature can't block, and then you can escape this later on for 3, exile 2 other cards from your graveyard.
Not my favorite.
I agree with you. There are many other good red cards in this pack, like Aspect of Manticore, or this Stampede Rider. 2 and a red for a 2/3 trample. At the beginning of each combat, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, this gets +1/+1 until end of turn.
Nice.
And there is a green card in Gift of Strength, +3/+3, and Reach for 2 at instant speed. So, what stands out to you in this pack, if anything?
I mean, the Chimera.
Okay.
I kind of do like this Blood Aspirant.
Okay.
And there's some other good black stuff in here, too.
The Mire's Grasp is incredible. It's literally one of the best removal spells in the format.
Yeah. So I don't really know what the hell I'm doing.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is, I guess, your turning point, right? Like, this is... Sometimes you can wait until much later in the picks to determine what your colors are, but this kind of is pulling you in one direction or another. If you go with this, you're pretty much staking a claim in I would like to be White Devotion.
Right.
It's only 2 picks towards White Devotion, so it's possible if you like open another busted black card, then you're like, all right, forget it. I'm just going black. Like, that's it. I don't care. And you can sacrifice not using this Daybreak Chimera or Daxos. You have red cards in Aspect of Manticore and Stampede Rider and the Blood Aspirant, like you said. And you have black cards in the Mire's Grasp, the Rage-Scarred Berserker, and the Temple Thief.
Right.
And the Rise to Glory.
Right. But I'm also thinking of, like, what stuff from here are we really going to be able to take? Like, I can't be like, oh, well, you know, I want, like, half the cards in this one pack, you know, because we can take one, pass it, and then... maybe one more or two more things come back that we actually wanted.
Correct.
So I'm trying to think about what's going to come back.
Okay.
As well as like how that will pair nicely with what I could take now.
Sure.
So
So what are your thoughts on that? That's a really good thought process to have.
Yeah.
So what are your conclusions?
I don't have them
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have them yet.
Okay. So, let's talk about colors in general then.
Okay.
Do you prefer white red, white black, or black red? Although notably, again, if you take this blood aspirant, right, again, he cares about sacrificing. That's the sacrifice deck. That's red black. But then you're passing black, black, black.
That's why I'm, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. There's a lot of good black in this pack. There's 4 fine black cards here.
Right.
Some are better than others, but there are 4 good black cards here. There's like a couple of good red cards here. Like there's some not so good as you talked about. And like these are fine.
Yeah.
They're not like first pickable. And this cares about being in that particular 2-color deck. Like it can just go in a red-white deck, but it's not going to be as effective there.
And it's not the kind of thing where we could do black, white, red.
You could, but you have Daxos that cares about your devotion to white, which is going to be very hard to keep up in a 3-color deck.
Right. And it's not like we're going to get to pick both of these two.
These two, yes.
Right.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah, and again, if you take this, you're leaving these black cards here as well. Now, that's fine because it's early in the packs and
something will come back. But will this come back or will this come back? And if we take that, is it going to be all of these are gone by the time we see it again and the only thing we still have left is this and this? Like, and because then we'll be mad that we didn't take this. You know what I mean? Like,
no, that's fair. Okay, so I think you have a lot more of a chance of the Temple Thief still being here when it wheels than the Myers Grasp.
Right.
Just saying. There is a chance. Unfortunately, I cannot predict what the bots are going to do. This is pick 3, but this did get this far. The thing is, if nobody is in white-black, this will wheel.
Yeah.
Because nobody's in white-black. So if you wanted to go white-black, I would say to risk not picking this and pick one of these instead.
Okay.
If that's the direction you want it to go.
Grasp is really good.
Correct. It's an incredible card.
So let's pick that one.
Okay. So again, we hope that this comes back.
Right.
There's no guarantees because, don't forget, there are 8 drafters. We are one of the 8 drafters. So there will be 7 cards missing from this pack when we get it back, plus the one that we're going to choose. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 12. Minus 8 means there will be 4 cards in here when we get it back.
Ooh.
Only 4.
Yeah, so this one will definitely be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to have like this left, and probably this. If there are only 4 left, those are probably the 4 that will still be left.
Yeah.
If I had to guess. Maybe this or this. Like, this, and this will be gone no matter whether we pick it or somebody else does.
Right. Or the bot.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Right.
Yeah, if the bots pick it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's still a chance that this will be there, this will be there, this will be there. And that's all things that at this point would make sense for what we've already chosen.
Yeah, this pack is stacked for us kind of no matter what. Like this and this are the only things not in the colors that we're considering.
Right.
So yeah, this pack is stacked no matter what.
I really don't want to pick that Satyr's Cunning.
No, that's fair.
I think it sucks.
That's fair. Yeah.
But, I will if we have to. But yeah, I think the Myers Grasp, to be honest.
Okay, let's give it a try. Okay.
Ooh.
So, Careless Celebrant is here. We've seen this before, but 1 in a red for a 2/1. When it dies, it deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. Mm-hmm. We have Flicker of Fate. Now we're into the commons. So the rare and 2 uncommons are missing from here. There's 1 uncommon in Careless Celebrant. Everything else is a common. So again, don't think that this is automatically better than this.
Right.
Just because they're all the same thing. Yeah. But Flicker of Fate is 1 and a white for an instant. Exile target creature or enchantment and then return it to the battlefield. We've talked about why this card is good, and we used it to pretty good effect in our last deck that we had it in, where you can...
All right, I'm going to pick Nylea's Huntmaster.
This one? Okay.
We're going to do a 5-color deck.
Okay, sure. I don't know why you picked this one over this one. But
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I know. Obviously I know you're joking. No, I get it. Because again, this also cares about devotion. So definitely not doing that in a 5-color deck. So that makes perfect sense. Okay. So yeah, sorry. So Flicker of Fate. Chain to Memory we're not doing. You want to skip the blue and the green at this point? Unless they're insane. Yes. And then we can be like, oh, should we? But yeah. Aspect of Lamprey is 3 and a black for an enchantment aura enchant creature you control. When it enters, target opponent discards 2 cards. And enchanted creature has lifelink. There is a 4/3 for 2 and 2 black.
Oh.
He's an enchantment creature.
Cool.
There is the Soul Reaper of Mogus, 2 and a black for a 2/3, and 2 and a black, sack a creature, draw a card.
Okay.
And then Wrap in Flames, 3 and a red sorcery, deal 1 damage to each of up to 3 target creatures.
Okay.
Those creatures can't block this turn. And then green, green, and green. Yeah. So, you have the choice between the Careless Celebrant, Nyxborn Marauder, Soul Reaper, Wrap in Flames, or Aspect of Lamprey.
Or Flicker.
Or Flicker, sorry.
Yeah, that's a lot of choices.
It sure is. I mean, it's pick 4, so
Right.
it's better to have a lot of choices than be like, I guess it's this one, like just,
Sure. If you feel like you know what you're doing enough, then sure.
Well, that's why we have all the time in the world. This is not a timed thing, and we can learn. So what are you feeling? Talk it out. Are there any of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards that you can outright eliminate? You're like, you know what? Out of these 6, like, because of the power level of the other ones, this one's just not good enough.
I don't like the Aspect of Lamprey one.
Cool. Is it just because of the art?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't care about the art, honestly.
Okay, good. Okay, so Aspect of Lamprey is out. So it's Wrap in Flames, Soul Reaper.
I like, which is okay.
Okay.
I don't like it as much as Wrap in Flames.
Sure. Nyxborn Marauder.
Which is good.
Flicker.
Which is definitely good.
And Careless Celebrant.
Which is also good.
Yeah. Okay.
What's your recommendation?
Ooh, interesting choice. Well, you have 3 colors here.
Yeah.
Are you intending to stick with 3 colors?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm trying to let the cards tell me what to do.
Okay. That makes perfect sense. Okay, so you're trying to keep yourself kind of open to all 3.
Yes.
Okay.
At least until I come across something that determines it for me.
Okay. So what I would say is, I think Careless Celebrant is a fine card. I think it's an early drop. I think it goes well in an aggressive red-white aggro strategy.
Oh, okay.
Because it's so low drop and you don't care about attacking with this thing. Because if it dies, it just deals 2 more damage to something else. But it also goes in a sacrifice deck. Because if you sacrifice it, it dies and deals 2 damage.
So I think that works very well with the white and the black that already exists.
Correct.
Okay, so that's our clincher there.
Good.
That's our card.
I like it. Okay, so we will skip the blue and the green.
Okay.
It's a third Nylea's Forerunner.
Wow. I guess nobody's in green.
I guess. There's Bronze Sword, which I believe we've both agreed we don't like, but we'll at least mention that it's here. There's another Soul Reaper.
Okay.
There is an Escape Velocity, 1 red mana, enchantment aura, enchant creature. The creature gets +1/+0 and haste.
Oh.
And then if this goes away, you can escape it for 1 and a red, exile 2 other cards from your graveyard, and get it back on one of your creatures.
That's a good card.
It's not bad. Yeah. I don't know that it's better than some of the other things in this pack, but it's not a bad card.
Well,
but it is an uncommon, notably. There are 2 uncommons in this pack still.
Okay.
Arena Trickster, 3 and a red for a 3/3. Human Shaman. Whenever you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Now, notably, we've talked about this. What 2-color deck does this want to go in?
Have we talked about this?
Yes. What color would you be more likely to be casting spells on your opponent's turn than on your own?
Ah.
What color has instants that maybe would be countering spells or bouncing things to their hand?
Blue.
Yes, blue it is. So red and blue are the cards, are the decks that would be casting things on their opponent's turn, like this flash enchantment or this instant that counters things. That's the second color that you would typically want in a deck with cards in it that care about you casting your first spell during each opponent's turn. Okay. Like, for example, Daxos, cast on your turn. Mire's Grasp, cast on your turn, your turn, your turn.
Right.
So just FYI, you can still pick it because it's a 3/3 for 4, and every once in a while, if you have like a burn spell or something, you can get them and have another counter on this. But also, let's talk about the fact that there's a Venomous Hierophant in this deck, in this pack. 3 and a black for a 3/3 Death Touch.
Yes.
When it enters the battlefield, you put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard.
Okay.
Now, the reason for that is to fuel escape for yourself. So, there's the Hierophant, the Escape Velocity, the Arena Trickster, and the Soul Reaper. What stands out to you in this one?
Ugh. God. All right. Well...
Again, you have an unlimited number of Ask Joe's Advice lifelines, but again, we can do what we did before. Are there any that stand out to you and you're like, absolutely not this one? Or probably not this one?
No.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. I was just asking.
I kind of like Escape Velocity.
Okay.
But I feel like the Hierophant is better.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
What is the Mogus one again?
2 and a black for a 2/3 creature, and then for 2 and a black, sacrifice a creature, you draw a card.
I don't know. That just feels a little bit expensive.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that assessment. Yeah. Okay. So then, no to Soul Reaper. You didn't mention Arena Trickster.
Yeah, I mean...
Okay. And again, I mean, that's fine, right? You're allowed to say no to these two because these two are here and you like them both better, right?
Yeah.
So then you've narrowed it down to Venomous Hierophant or Escape Velocity. What are your...
Okay, so what's the escape on the...
2 mana, 1 in a red, and exile 2 other cards from your graveyard. It's supposed to be somewhat easier to do this. So basically what you kind of want to do with Escape Velocity is like be able to just use your black, I guess, if you're going red-black or red-black-white or whatever. You use your black, like a Venomous Hierophant type card, to like fuel things into your graveyard. And then use Escape Velocity. Basically, anytime you play a creature, you just tap 2, put this on it, and then it has +1/+0 and haste, and you just attack with it as soon as it comes in so that your opponent can't plan for it. You're just like, I drop this thing, and I attack with it immediately because I have Escape Velocity. Like, that's kind of the idea behind it. But it then makes all of your creatures 1 mana more if you're playing this from your hand, or 2 mana more if you're escaping it.
Oh.
Because them having haste is irrelevant the turn after they come into play.
Right. Okay, so the Hierophant.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Hierophant's a very good card. Okay. Well.
Ooh.
There's the Fruit, which
There's the Omen.
Don't like. That's a white omen for us, yeah. That's true. There's the Thundering Chariot as well, the vehicle.
Yeah, that is...
First Strike, Trample, Haste, Crew 1 for 4 for a 3/3. And the Rumbling Sentry, 3 and 2 white for a 3/6 when it enters Scry 1. There's another Arena Trickster. And there's a Portent of Betrayal, 3 in a red, sorcery, gain control of target creature until end of turn, untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn, and you scry 1. So you could like take one of their things, attack them with it, and you get to scry 1.
I feel like that's not the best card.
I would agree if we had more sacrifice outlets, like if we'd taken those Soul Reapers of Mogus, it would be better, but... You need 4 mana for the Portent of Betrayal. You steal their thing, you attack them with it, and then you need 3 more mana to use your Soul Reaper of Mogus to sacrifice their creature, and you draw a card.
Yeah, so that
it's
would
7
only
mana
work
to do that.
Late game.
Correct. So yes, you have the Arena Trickster, the Portent, the Fruit, the Rumbling Sentry, the Omen, or the Thundering Chariot.
Yeah, I think it's got to be one of these first three.
Okay.
The Giant?
So he is a 5-mana 3/6. When he enters, you scry 1. He is double white, so if we care about devotion, but this costs 5 and this costs 2.
Yeah.
So unless we drew this early and played it late game and then drew this later game, it probably wouldn't work that way.
Yeah.
But
what is the Omen?
2 and a white flash enchantment. Okay. When it enters, we get 2/1/1 human creature tokens, human soldiers, and we gain 2 life. And then, as with all omens, we can tap 3, sack it, and scry 2. Notably, with this guy, obviously, even if we play him later, like Daxos does get 2 more, like that. The devotion counts at any point.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so I almost feel like it's got to be one of those 2 more than the Chariot.
Oh, more than the Chariot, sure.
But what's the Chariot again?
It's 4 mana
strike,
for a 3/3
haste,
first strike,
crew
trample,
one.
haste, crew 1. That's fine. I have no problem saying that it's one of these 2. That's fine.
I like that Chariot, though.
You do?
Yeah.
I know you like vehicles. I will tell you.
I think it's really good.
I will tell you, I like this vehicle as well. It has not performed well for me the times that I've used it, but I agree with you that I think it looks good.
Yeah.
So I don't quite know how to feel.
Yeah, so maybe it's the kind of card where you kind of have to feel out what deck it works best in.
Sure.
And I don't know that I really want to risk that. So maybe I think we have to go with either the Omen or this Giant thing. I prefer the Omen, I think.
Okay. I think that's a better choice as well.
Okay.
It's got flash. It can sack to scry 2. Like, it does a lot of good things for not a lot of mana.
Right.
Okay. Very good. Well, we have... Ugh, that feels bad.
Yeah.
But we have the Triumph of Anax.
No.
Okay. We have Sentinel's Eyes.
Sentinel's Eyes is good.
We have another Venomous Hierophant.
Oh.
We have a Satyr's Cunning, which you did not love. And a Nyxborn Brute, 3 red for a 7/3 enchantment creature.
Dang. So the Sentinel's Eyes, the Hierophant, or the Brute.
Correct.
Oh, God. I feel like having one Hierophant, like, kind of almost makes you feel like you want to have more than one Hierophant.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
Or am I...
No, that's fair. I mean, it's
into things?
First of all, it's a 3/3 death touch. Like, I don't think you could have too many of those regardless. But yes, milling the top 3 to fuel your escape is a good thing. Now, notably, we don't have any escape yet, but there is definitely enough of it in these colors that we would have more opportunities to find them later on.
Okay. Now, I will say Sentinel's Eyes worked very well for us in the deck that we used it in.
Correct.
But I feel like when we drafted, it wheeled
Correct.
pretty frequently.
I feel like that. Well,
I came across it a lot.
Well, it's also pick 7, and it's still here.
Right.
So I don't know why this is here.
Yeah, I don't.
I just don't.
Nobody's in green, apparently, because that other amazing green card was in, like, 2 packs still.
Oh, the Nihilius Forerunner.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We had 3 in a row, but that was somewhat early on, but still, that's fine. Okay, so Brute, Eyes, Hierophant.
I think Hierophant.
I like it. Okay, well, there are actually a couple of options here for us. So, no to the greens, no to the Bronze Sword, no to the Satyr's Cunning, no to the Field of Ruin.
Oh.
Right, you remember what this does? You tap 2, sack it, and you can destroy a non-basic land an opponent controls.
Oh, that's stupid.
Well, it's not for limited.
Okay. Well, but this, yeah.
Yeah. Cling to Dust is 1 black mana for an instant. Exile a card from a graveyard. If it was a creature, you gain 3 life. Otherwise, you draw a card.
Oh,
and then it has Escape for 3 and a black. Exile 5 other cards from your graveyard.
Okay, that sounds great.
It's fine. Sure. We also have Altar of the Pantheon.
Oh, that could work nicely too.
Yes, especially if you're still thinking of going 3 colors and using a devotion strategy.
Right.
It is 3 mana. Your devotion to each color and each combination of colors is increased by 1, and you can tap it to add 1 mana of any color. And if you control a god, a demigod, or a legendary enchantment, you gain 1 life.
Okay. I like that one in this deck.
Me too.
Okay.
Okay,
What
so
is the Scavenging Harpy?
Scavenging Harpy is 2 and a black for a 2/1 flyer, and when it enters the battlefield, we exile a card from an opponent's graveyard.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I haven't seen that.
We've never picked it, but
Very
we had
little.
it.
Very
We had the
little we've
opportunities
seen
for it. Yeah,
I think maybe we played against a couple of people that had that.
it's a
ever.
pretty good card. I like it. There's another Portent of Betrayal.
I'm not thrilled with that one.
Or if we're talking about splashing, there's a Traveler's Amulet, 1 mana, artifact, 1, sacrifice it, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library.
Harpy or Amulet?
Correct.
Harpy or Amulet?
Are you asking or just stating it?
I'm asking.
It's Scavenging Harpy.
Okay.
You get the Traveler's Amulets much more often later on.
Yeah.
Scavenging Harpy is a great card.
It has flying.
It does.
Always good.
And it exiles escape cards from their graveyard.
Which we need. We need escapey things.
Correct.
Yes.
Well, no, we need to get rid of escapey things.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
So
yes.
here is our first pack with the wheels in it, or stuff that's wheeled in it.
Yes.
We have a Soul Reaper,
Oh.
or a Final Flare,
Okay.
or a Pious Wayfarer. So the Pious Wayfarer is the constellation. Whenever an enchantment enters under our control, one of our creatures gets +1/+1 until end of turn, and he's a 1/2 for 1. We have the Soul Reaper of Mogus, 2 and a black for a 2/3, tap 3, sack a creature, draw a card. And we have Final Flare, 2 and a red, instant, sack a creature or an enchantment as an additional cost, and it deals 5 damage to target creature.
Oh. I feel like that flare is pretty good.
That's fair. You have to sack a creature or an enchantment, but yeah, you get to almost certainly kill something.
Yeah.
And it's at instant speed.
Yeah.
Okay. So you prefer that?
I think I do.
I have no problems with that. It's a
Okay.
good card. Hey, look.
Nice.
A ton of things wheeled from this pack. Remember all the tough choices in this one?
Yes.
So not Satyr's Cunning,
No.
but Temple Thief, Aspect of
I
Manticore,
like that one.
or Stampede Rider.
Yeah, I really like the aspect of Manticore.
Okay. It worked out pretty well for us. Okay. Nyxborn Marauder,
Nice.
4 mana, 4/3,
Yeah.
or Wrap in Flames,
I
4
like
mana.
both of those cards. Yeah. I like them.
Okay. So which one would you like to choose?
Let's look at our curve for a minute.
That's our curve. 2, 3, 4.
Are we going to need a larger creature like the Marauder, or should we take
Well,
a
we have. So this is a
sorcery?
4/3, right?
Right.
We do have 2 3/3 Death Touch Venomous Hierophants
Yeah.
currently.
Yeah.
By the way, First Strike and Death Touch is disgusting. Just throwing that out there. It's a disgusting, disgusting combination.
Good. Yeah, I think I like the Wrap in Flames a little bit more.
Okay. We can try it. Escape Velocity
Okay.
came back.
Yes, take it.
And a Portent of Betrayal because why not?
Yeah.
We don't have to play it, but it's there. Okay. Ugh, weird. Okay. We have a Labyrinth of Scophos. I don't know that you've seen this yet.
No,
It's
I
a
have
land.
not.
You can tap it to add a colorless mana, or you can tap 4 and tap it to remove target attacking or blocking creature from combat.
Oh.
So if they attack with something and you don't want to try to have to block it or whatever, you can tap this and remove it. If they block with stuff that you don't want to see that they've blocked with, you can tap this and remove it. It is 4 mana to do it, but
This is cool. I like this deck because I feel like there's a lot of removal in it without it being blue.
okay.
And removal is good, but I hate blue.
Okay. Good deal.
I don't like the art on this because
Okay.
who the hell can use a labyrinth correctly with a freaking building on top of it?
Minotaurs. That's the whole story behind it.
But I'm building on top of it.
It's not on top of it. It's connected to it. Like these big
It's
doors or
like-
whatever are like at the end of the pathways.
Oh, okay.
See, and like it kind of like this pathway like goes up these stairs or whatever, and then there's another entrance
Yeah.
there, and etc. So yeah,
Yeah, but a labyrinth, you're supposed to be able to go through it entirely, and you know,
maybe it starts from inside the building.
maybe.
I mean, look at it. Like it goes off in the background there too.
Oh,
It's a huge
yeah,
labyrinth.
that's weird. Okay. Anyway.
Okay, so anyway, that's the labyrinth. There's an Arcana of Falling Stars. 4 white for the 4/4 flyer. When it dies, you can return an enchantment from your graveyard to the battlefield. No. Leon and the Lost Pride is 1 and a white for a 3/1. And when it dies, we exile a card from an opponent's graveyard.
Okay.
Discordant Piper is 1 and a black for a 2/1. And when it dies, we get an 0/1 goat. The Fruit of Tizerus, which we do not love.
Nope.
Correctly, we don't love this, by the way. Irreverent Revelers, 2 and a red for a 2/2. When it enters, we either destroy an artifact or this gains haste until end of turn. A 2 mana 1/3 that you can tap 3, discard a card, and draw a card.
I love the art on that.
Stampede Rider again. The trample, if you have power 4 or greater, +1/+1. And the Thaumaturgist Familiar, 3 mana 1/3 flyer, and when it enters, scry 1. I will note to you, if this helps, there is a Minotaur creature in red that cares about you having the Labyrinth of Scophos. It literally, it says like that if a creature gets removed from combat with Labyrinth of Scophos, this creature, meaning the Minotaur, fights that creature.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah. But
And I
that
do
doesn't mean
like
you have
that
to pick
card
it.
a lot. That's really my favorite out of this.
Okay.
It's just that I don't know if it makes the most sense.
Oh, it's very good. The only reason you would not take this is if you feel like you're a very aggressive deck. And you're not aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You're not aggressive. I'll give you that. The Acroan War and Portent of Betrayal steal stuff. This makes things unable to block. So like maybe you're not. Maybe you're more aggressive than that. But then the only other real thing to take here is like this or this.
I'm not thrilled with either of those.
And they'll likely wheel.
Yeah. All right, so let's
Or
pick-
this, I
so
guess.
let's- yeah.
But-
I feel like that might wheel too, to be honest.
That's fair.
Let's pick the labyrinth then.
Okay. Hopefully we see
Fair
the card
enough.
that I was talking about. Hey, look! It's right here. The Scophos Maze Warden. It's 3 and a red for a 3/4. You can tap 1 to give it +1/+1/-1 until end of turn. And you can do that a number of times, of course. Whenever another creature becomes the target of an ability of a land you control, named Labyrinth of Scophos, you may have Scophos Maze Warden fight that creature.
Okay, let's pick him.
But we could pick the Birth of Meletis and search for a Plains.
No.
And get an 0/4 wall.
No.
And gain 2 life.
No, that's okay.
It's a terrible card. Heliod's Punishment, on the other hand, is a great card.
Oh.
And we're not taking it. But I think this is cool that we have this option
Great.
here.
Yes.
So there's Omen of the Forge, which we hope comes back. There's another Scavenging Harpy, which we hope comes back. And there's a Scophos War Leader as well. 5 mana 4/5. Tap 1 red, sack another creature or an enchantment, and this gets +1/+0 and menace until end of turn.
Okay, that's good.
So just be aware of that for things that might wheel. Hopefully this does, but I doubt it.
But
Hopefully
it's
this does, but I
definitely
doubt it.
destiny that this guy is here.
He was immediately after I mentioned to you that he existed. So that's cool. Okay. Well, we have some options. Reverent Hoplite, 4 and a white for a 1/2 human soldier. When it enters the battlefield, you get a number of 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens equal to your devotion to white.
Okay.
Hateful Eidolon is a black for a 1/2 lifelink. Whenever an enchanted creature dies, you draw a card for each aura you control that was attached to it. Okay, so that works really well, by the way, with Myers Grasp. Because if this kills something that you put this on, it counts and you draw a card.
Okay.
Sentinel's Eyes, as we talked about. Triumphant Surge is 3 and a white for an instant. Destroy target creature with power 4 or greater, and you gain 3 life. Scavenging Harpy again. Omen of the Forge again. Rapid Flames again. And Thaumaturgist Familiar again.
Ay. Ay, ay, ay.
What stands out to you in this one?
I guess the Eidolon.
The Hateful Eidolon.
Yeah.
I like it. Good choice.
Or, I don't know, the hot plate is cool too.
He is cool.
But it kind of looks like we're not really in white anymore.
It sure does. It sure does.
Okay.
Because we have 2 white cards, and one of them cares about our devotion to white.
Right.
And so does this if we pick it, but it's 5 mana.
Right.
Which means that if we don't have good enough devotion to white, we're wasting 5 mana
Right.
to play a 1/2 and
Okay.
get like one of our 1/1/1
Okay.
creature with
You
it.
don't need to convince me.
Sorry.
Hateful Eidolon.
You got it.
And our 2 white cards will end up in sideboard.
Okay. So we'll put Daxos in the sideboard, and we'll put Omen of the Sun in the sideboard.
Yeah.
Now, later, we can decide whether we want the Altar or the Pantheon to join it
Okay.
or not,
Right.
but that doesn't have to be decided
Okay.
now.
Yeah.
Okay, this pack is very stacked against us, but I will say there are 3 damn good choices.
Okay.
Omen of the Dead,
Yes.
1 black, flash enchantment. When it enters, we return a creature from our graveyard to our hand,
Okay.
and 2 and a black, sack it, scry 2, as
Okay.
all of the omens do. Underworld Charger is 2 and a black for a 3/3. It cannot block.
Oh.
But for 4 and a black, exile 3 other cards from our graveyard. We can escape it, and it escapes as a 5/5.
Oh.
So again, we can be aggressive with this because 1, it can't block, so we can just attack with
Right.
this every turn. And if it dies, who cares? We can get it back as a 5/5 by escaping it for 5 mana and exiling 3 other cards, which will not be that difficult because
That sounds
boom, we have
wonderful.
2 of these that mill 3.
Right. That sounds wonderful.
Or Hero of the Games, 2 and a red for a 3/2. Whenever you cast a spell that targets this creature, creatures we control get +1/+0 until end of turn.
Meh. I like the Charger.
Charger it is. It's a great card. Okay. Ooh, couple of good options here. Elspeth's Nightmare.
Yeah.
Destroy target creature an opponent controls with power 2 or less.
Okay.
Then, second chapter, they reveal their hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land from it, and they discard that card. And then exile their graveyard.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, these first 2 sound kind of shitty, but I like the exiling the graveyard one.
Again, it's an uncommon saga.
Yeah,
I
so
don't
it's
love
not
any
the
of them. Just throwing that out there. Mogus's Favor is 1 black for an enchant creature. Enchantment Aura. Enchanted creature gets +2/-1.
Okay.
And you have escape with this. 2 and a black, exile 2 other cards from your graveyard, and we can get this back. Now, note with this card, the good thing about this is twofold, or threefold, really. First of all, we have a Hateful Eidolon. Whenever an enchanted creature dies, draw a card for each aura you controlled that was attached to it. So there's that.
Okay.
Also the good thing, and it has escape, so we can keep bringing it back even if it
Right,
goes away.
Right.
Also the cool thing about it is, if we put it on one of their creatures that has 1 toughness or less, it dies.
Yeah.
Or if we put it on one of our creatures that has more than 1 toughness, it then just has +2 power and
Right.
-1 toughness.
That seems amazing.
So it's a very good
That
card.
only costs 1 initially.
Correct. And 3 to escape with 2 cards.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's a really good card.
I agree with you. There's a Rage Scarred Berserker as well. We looked at this earlier.
He's good.
4 and a black for a 5/4 gives something +1/+0 and indestructible until end of turn.
I just do not think that that's better than
the
that one.
Mogus's Favor.
Yeah.
And then there's an Aspect of Manticore, of which we
Which
already
is
have
not
one.
better. Yes.
So this one?
Yes.
I like it. Okay. Well, we have 3 choices. They're all red. Underworld Fires, which I know you love so very much, is 1 and a red for a sorcery. It deals 1 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. If a permanent dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile it instead. So again, don't forget that counts your and your opponent's.
Right.
And it exiles even if your creature is one of the ones that dies.
Right.
Speaking of, well, there's a Portent of Betrayal again. Or there's an Incendiary Oracle. 1 and a red for a 2/2. You can tap 1 and a red, and it gets +1/+0 until end of turn. And if a creature dealt damage by Incendiary Oracle this turn would die, exile it instead.
Nice. Okay.
So those are your 3 options. Underworld
These two
Fires,
are pretty similar.
this and this.
Yeah, I feel like.
I think that the fact that they exile things, it makes them similar. But this hits everything, including your creatures.
Well, yes,
And it's only
I know.
1 damage.
Right.
Whereas this is a 2/2 creature that you can pump for 1 and a red as many times as you
this
have
is
the
a
mana to do it.
creature. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so this one might be better.
I think so, yes. I don't think this is good. I really don't.
But what was that board wipe card that really did a good job for
Storm's Wrath. That deals 4 damage to each creature and each planeswalker.
Okay. So yes, let's pick the Oracle.
You got it.
That is a gorgeous art
Yes,
as well.
it is.
Oh my god.
All right, so no Mischievous Chimera for us.
No.
The only card we can choose is Temple Thief.
Okay.
Unless we really want to lean into white more and
No,
get a
we
second Omen of the Sun.
No.
Temple Thief it is. Ooh, lots of choices.
Okay.
Okay, I think this is our first pack, actually, coming back for us.
Oh.
We have Thrill of Possibility.
No, it's not. We haven't seen the Thrill of Possibility yet.
Okay. Our
And nor have we seen the Blessing.
well, it was in another pack, but yeah, okay. All right, so Thrill of Possibility is 1 in a red for an instant. Discard a card as an additional cost to play this, but you draw 2 cards.
That's good.
It's good. Stampede Rider, 2/3, trample, power 4 or greater, +1/+1. Final Flare again, so we already have 1. We could have a second if we want, but we do have to sack something when we play it. And an Irreverent Revelers, 3 mana, 2/2.
I don't really like that card.
Sure. Okay, so Final Flare, Thrill of Possibility, Stampede Rider.
For me, it's between the Rider and the Possibility.
Okay. And what stands out to you of those two?
I don't know. They both really do. I think they're very good in their own way.
Okay.
Like, I like the cheapness of Thrill of Possibility. But I'm usually very drawn to instants and sorceries and
Okay.
enchantments more than creatures.
Okay.
So I'm always trying to like determine whether I need more creatures or not before I just choose everything that's not a creature.
Sure. Well, thankfully we're still in pack 2, to be fair. So we do have a whole nother pack after this as well. But I will say, do you think that you are trying to be an aggressive deck?
I don't know. I mean,
Because basically, if you're trying to be an aggressive deck, this is the pick. If you're not sure, or if you're not trying to be an aggressive deck, then you could lean this way as well.
Let me look at some of these.
Oh, some of our deck
Yeah.
cards? Okay. So we have Hateful Eidolon that lets us draw cards when things die.
Okay, that's more reactionary than aggressive.
No. Because it's we draw cards for each aura we controlled that was attached to it. So if we kill one of their things with one of our auras, we draw a card. Or if one of our guys dies with an aura on it, we draw a card.
Right.
So if we're aggressively attacking with our creatures that have auras on them and our opponents are blocking them, you want to de-incentivize your opponent from blocking you, because if your creature dies, you're still drawing a card to replace the aura. Mogus's Favor either buffs our stuff or kills their stuff, or
Right.
like shrinks their toughness on stuff. This gives haste and power. This kills. This gets in unable to be blocked by enchanted or enchantment creatures.
Mm-hmm.
This gets in aggressively, and then if they block, we get to deal 2 extra damage to something else.
Okay.
Incendiary Oracle, we can pump a bunch of times, and we can exile their stuff if they block it, or if it dies from this. This is a flyer, so it has evasion, but we also stop escape a bit by exiling something from their graveyard.
Right.
This is a 3/3 that can't block, so it's going to only be attacking.
Right.
And then it escapes as a 5/5 that still can't block.
Right.
Aspect of Manticore gives 2 power, only, no toughness, and first strike.
Okay. So yeah, it looks like we're aggressive.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. So the Stampede Rider.
Okay. Irreverent Revelers or Stampede Rider?
Stampede Rider.
Or technically Thaumaturge's Familiar, but this is better, I
Yeah.
think. Final Flare,
Okay.
Irreverent Revelers,
Okay.
or the 4/5 Scophos War Leader that you can sack another creature or an enchantment and he becomes a 5/5 menace until end of turn.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it sure does.
I'm surprised he's still there.
Wrap in Flames,
Okay.
Hero of the Games,
Okay.
Nothing. I mean, Sentinel's Eyes or Lena the Lost Pride. but they're gonna go on our
Sentinel's Eyes
sideboard.
is better, but it'll be sideboarded.
Yep. And Underworld Fires.
Okay, well,
Last pick an uncommon.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Holy crap. First of all, notably, there is a second Scophos Maze Warden here.
Yeah.
But there's no way that's better than Eat to Extinction.
No.
There is a Mogus's Favor as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully
maybe
this
that'll
or
wheel.
this wheels.
Yeah.
But 4 mana, instant, exile target creature or planeswalker. Look at the top card of your library. You may put that card into your graveyard.
That's insane.
Card's incredible.
Yes. Yes. Pick.
Yes, pick it. Pick it now. What are you doing? Why haven't you picked it yet?
Oh.
So there's
It's
a red-black
red
card in Slaughter Priest of Mogus. Red-black, 2/2. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, he gets +2/+0 until end of turn. And then you can tap to sacrifice another creature or an enchantment, and he gains first strike until end of turn.
He sounds good.
Or there is the Omen of the Forge,
Oh.
another Temple Thief,
Nah.
or the Lampad of Death's Vigil.
Oh.
It is a 1/3 enchantment creature, but for 1 and sack a creature, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life.
Ooh.
And you can do that as many times as you have mana and creatures to do so.
Oh, that sounds nice.
I agree with you.
That might be my favorite in this pile here.
I would agree.
Okie
You want
doke.
this one?
Yep.
Good choice. I don't love the gold card.
Oh.
I won't lie to you. Hey, look, there's another one. There's also a third Venomous Hierophant.
Jesus.
Or a second Soul Reaper. Do we take none? No, we don't have any Soul Reapers yet.
Oh, really?
But or a second Temple Thief, but or another Aspect, or a Nyxborn Brute.
Yeah, I think the Vigil is still the best
Sure,
out of all of them.
I like it. Another Slaughter Priest,
Jesus Christ.
another Final Flare, another Omen of the Forge, another Incendiary Oracle.
I guess we drafted well.
Yeah, yeah. I think we're getting somewhat lucky because this is early on in the picks for this pack. Or there's this Iroas's Blessing. 3 in a red for an enchantment aura, enchant creature you control. Now, notably, enchanted creature only gets +1/+1. That seems bad for 4 mana. But when Iroas's Blessing enters the battlefield, it deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls.
Yes, please.
It's very good. Hey, look, another Hateful Eidolon.
Oh,
Or a Hero of the Games, a Venomous Hierophant, a
Maybe.
Nyxborn Marauder,
okay.
or a Blight Breath Catoblepas. I say Catoblepas, some people say Catoblepus, but it's 4 black for a 3/2. But when it enters the battlefield, target creature and opponent controls gets -X until end of turn, where X is your devotion to black.
Ooh. Amy likey.
All right, so you want this one over like the Hateful Eidolon,
Yeah.
for example? Because those are really your like biggest two. I mean, like Hierophant, but we already have 2.
We already
so.
have 2, yeah.
All right, 6 drop. Mire Triton, 1 and a black for a 2/1 Death Touch. And when it enters the battlefield, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard, and you gain 2 life.
Oh.
There is also a Nyxborn Brute, 5 mana, 7/3, or a Funeral Rites, 2 and a black, sorcery. You draw 2 cards, lose 2 life, and put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. So, if you're choosing the black cards here, you're either, when you put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard, do you want to also draw 2 cards and lose 2 life, or have a 2/1 Death Toucher?
Definitely the 2/1 Death Toucher.
Very good. Okay, well, there's Satyr's Cunning and Irreverent Revelers, which you don't love, so it's a black card. Either Farika's Libation, 2 and a black for an instant. Choose 1. Target opponent sacks a creature, target opponent sacks an enchantment.
Yeah, I don't love this card.
Okay, Scavenging Harpy number 2,
I like the Harpy.
or Venomous Hierophant number 3.
Pick the Hierophant.
Got it. Funeral Rites, Scophos Maze Warden Wield,
Nice.
or a Stampede Rider.
Oh. This is a toughie.
It is a toughie, actually. I wholeheartedly agree with you.
Does it make sense to have more than one Scophos?
Why not?
Okay.
I mean, the thing is, right, this one, if you're trying to be more aggressive, then this land is going to take a long time to get going, because you need 4 mana that you have not used to play a creature and attack them and beat face with.
Okay, so yes. So
Whereas-
the Stampede Rider is probably a better choice then.
It's still between the Stampede Rider or the Funeral Rites, because the Funeral Rites lets you draw cards to refill your hand after you've dropped all your aggressive creatures on the board already.
Yeah.
So that's fine. So you want to go Stampede Rider?
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it's between the two. So if you'd rather
that's
this,
better than losing 2 life and
sure, that's fine. Okay, there's another Skophos Mage Warden or an Infuriate +3 +2. Because we're not taking the fruit. So
I like that one actually.
Infuriate?
Yeah.
Sure. Not a problem. There's a Temple Thief.
Okay. Yeah.
Not a bad card.
Not a bad card. You're right.
Another Temple Thief. Another Aspect. Or a Nyxborn Bird.
Ooh, Nyxborn.
A Final Flare. Or an Incendiary Oracle.
Oh.
We have one of each, I believe.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. 3 mana Final Flare. And Incendiary Oracle is 2. It's up here somewhere. Yes, we have one of each.
5 damage to a target creature.
Right, so it's only a creature. You're sacking one of yours, killing one of theirs.
And you have to pay for it in the first place.
3
but
mana.
It's cheap.
But it's an instant. So you can do it like on their blocks or something, where like something that you know is going to die.
Right.
Versus something that you don't want to die. So you just sack the thing you know is going to die, kill the thing that would kill your guy that you don't want to die.
Right.
Like that's kind of the idea behind that, if you're being aggressive with it.
Yeah, I like this card a lot.
And it's either that or this,
I
which
feel like this one's good.
we already have one of each. This is a cheaper creature in an aggressive deck, which could be more helpful to you. As opposed to like sacking creatures, which is kind of your resource to be able to hit them in the face with.
Yeah.
It's a tough choice. It really is.
It sounds like you like the Oracle better, but I feel like I like the Flare better.
Okay, so which would you like to choose?
I don't know.
You don't have to listen to me.
But I don't know that it makes sense for me to listen to me more than it makes sense for me to listen to you.
Well, except that it doesn't, like, who cares? Like, so we lose. Like, you've learned then that Final Flare isn't as good as this, if that is the case. I'm not saying that it automatically is.
Yeah.
That is your choice, right? Like, this is not a high stakes thing that we're doing here.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I guess that's true.
this is entirely your decision.
Yeah, I do really like the Flare.
Okay, it's the Final Flare then. Okay.
It's the final countdown.
Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. So, 7-3 for 5, or a 3-2 that when you target it with a spell, pump the rest of your team +1/+0 until
Okay,
your turn.
I don't think we need more than one brute.
Fair.
Because it's expensive.
Yeah.
And it's a big dude.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Well, too bad. You're getting one.
Okay.
That's so funny.
Lovely.
All right, let's build our deck. We need to make 15 cuts. Ready, go.
Oh, gosh.
Technically, the
We already
labyrinth.
took 3 things out.
Well, technically, the labyrinth doesn't count, right? The labyrinth is a land.
Okay.
And there are 16 land here, and then this, so the
we
labyrinth
need-
actually doesn't count.
Okay, so do we need the Pantheon at this point?
I would think we do not.
Okay, so let's take that out first.
Okay, good. That's out. Okay. Actually, let's do this.
Now we're done.
That's a ton easier to see now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So this is our deck. This is our curve.
Mm-hmm.
And we can basically ignore everything over here.
Okay.
If you're trying to be aggressive, 4 mana. Oh, Portent of Betrayal can go away as well.
Yeah, because we didn't.
We
like
didn't
that.
love it. It was just like one of our last picks anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
You said you don't want 2 brutes.
Yeah, I don't think we need that.
Good. Those are the easy cuts.
I would cut Underworld Fires.
Yes, fair. Where'd it go? Thank you. Yep, that goes away. I agree. Only 11 more to go.
No. Temple Thief.
Do you want to cut one of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have 3 Stampede Riders.
Okay, so we cut at least one.
Yeah.
You want to cut 2 or just 1?
I don't know.
Let's see how many creatures we have with power 4 or greater. How's that?
Okay.
1, 2. On their own, just the 2.
Oh, no.
But with Iroas' Blessing, you can give a 3-powered creature +1/+1. We have plenty of those.
Okay.
And we have an aspect of Manticore that gives +2/+0 as well.
Oh. Okay.
And we have Mogus's Favor that gives +2/+1 if we put it on one of our things.
Okay.
And we have Infuriate that gives +3/+2, but that's more of a combat trick, so you probably
Yeah.
wouldn't do that before attacking. And the Stampede Rider only goes off before combat. So,
I don't know what to do.
all right, so maybe we get rid of another one of them
Okay.
because we don't have a ton. Like we have, like even this, our 6-drop has 3 power. But it gives -X, where X is our devotion to black. Although, if you look at this deck, we seem to be heavier red.
Yeah.
But it does have it as an even split here, mainly because we have 3 Venomous Hierophants stacked up here, 2 Lampads, and a lot of our early stuff is in black. So,
All right. So what do you recommend here?
that's a good question, Amy.
I mean, I don't want to like leave black behind because I think we need the harpy
I agree.
because
Plus,
there's nothing else flying and there's nothing flying in red.
right.
And I think it's beneficial to at least have one flyer.
Well, and it's all our removal. Myers Grasp, Eat to Extinction, Mogus's Favor. Like, we've got Final Flares.
Yeah, we've got some
But-
red removal that I think it exists.
It exists in this one card.
Okay.
Which we have 2 copies of. But again, you also, this deals 4 damage, and then you can do it in combat, like combat tricks, like this and this,
that one. Right.
and using this to make things unable to block, so you get in.
Right.
We do have 2 of these.
Oh.
Do you want 2 of them?
I don't know.
You asked for my recommendation. I would say take 1 out.
Okay.
If we find that we're like, oh my god, why can't we get these last 2 points of damage in? We put in the other Rapid Flames.
Okay.
Like that's just how that goes. 7 more cuts. 7. You wanted Escape Velocity, you want Infuriate, we want Mogus's Favor and Hateful Eidolon. Double Lampad, Mire Triton, Temple Thief, Careless Celebrant, Incendiary Oracle, Myers Grasp. Do you want 2 Final Flares, or do you want to try just the 1 for now?
I think the 1 is probably fine.
Okay. Aspect of Manticore is good. Stampede Rider is here. Double Hero of the games? Or just 1?
I think maybe just 1.
Good. Underworld Charger is good. Scavenging
Yes.
Harpy is good. Triple Hierophant? You can say yes. I'm not trying to lean you in one direction. I'm just asking.
I just feel like the Hierophant only makes sense if you have more than one Hierophant, like or something similar to the Hierophant.
Sure. Well, don't
Right,
forget the
like-
Mire Triton, wherever it is, also mills you. Technically.
Yeah.
It's only 2. So combined with 1 Hierophant, that's 5 cards in your graveyard. Plus, incidentally, as your aggressive creatures die, they'll end up in your graveyard and stuff.
Right.
Plus, like, Infuriate will be in there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we don't have a ton of escape. We have Escape Velocity. We have Mogus's Favor. And this is 2 cards. This is 2 cards. But again, as I said, they will want to do this over and over. Like that's kind of your hope is that you'll be able to do it multiple times. Although to be fair, I guess if it stays on one of your guys forever and is super helpful, then that's better.
Right.
But like you're assuming that they're going to be multiple times.
I think even if we got rid of Escape altogether, I still think Mogus's Favor is like decent.
Yeah, I agree. Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying. I'm just saying like in terms of this milling you for 3 or
Right.
this milling you for 2.
Right.
Like
So
the
like
only
if we
reason
just
that
do
matters.
away with those,
Yeah, but
I still feel like keeping Mogus's Favor would make sense.
I agree. I also I wasn't implying to get rid of escape at all.
Okay.
All I was saying is that like your Mire Triton and your Hierophants are there to fuel your escape. It's just that your only escape currently are these 2 cards, it seems.
Oh.
Unless I'm missing something huge, which I don't think I am. Oh, sorry. Yes, I am. See? Underworld Charger.
Yeah.
3 other cards with Underworld Charger. Somebody was probably screaming at me about that. Sorry, everyone. I found it. And that's it. So, I mean, that's big.
And none of the things we took out, right?
No.
Okay.
Not that I can see, no. So, yeah, I mean, that's fine. I'm not in any way saying to get rid of any of it. I'm just saying, like, these 3 and this are to fuel your 1, 2, 3 escape cards. But again, if we're being aggressive, this Underworld Charger, we don't care how many times it dies. We just don't. Because every time we play a Venomous Hierophant, we've refilled our graveyard with 3 more cards that we can use to play this back out again.
Right.
So, yeah.
I think that's a nice combo.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's really great. But, well, that's why I asked if we wanted 3 of them.
Okay.
Because if we get 2 of them and a Mire Triton, that's still 3 cards, 3 cards, 2 cards. For 3 cards, 2 cards, 2 cards each time.
All right.
There's the Maze.
Take one out.
Okay. There's the Maze Warden. Do we like him?
I mean, what does he do exactly?
So
again?
he's a 3/4 for 4. We can use 1 mana of any color to give him +1/-1 until end of turn, any number of times. So he could be a 4/3, a 5/2, or a 6/1 at any given time.
Okay.
But it's until end of turn. So we can do it on our turn or our opponent's turn. And then whenever another creature becomes the target of this labyrinth, he fights that creature. So notably, if we need to make him big enough to fight, he's losing toughness, so he would probably die in that fight.
Yeah.
But if it's something big and scary enough that we're using the labyrinth on it for 4 mana to remove it from combat, it's probably something we want dead anyway.
Yeah.
But it's also an onboard trick, right? They know we have this land. They know we have this Maze Warden. So
maybe we just get rid of those 2.
Okay.
I mean, it was kind of perfect when we were drafting, but now that we're to the
Sure.
deck building portion, it's not as perfect.
Not a problem at all. Okay. So then we need 3 more cuts. Tough. 3 more cuts
What
is
about
tough.
this Vigil? Do we need 2 of those?
The Lampad?
Yeah.
I mean, it's expensive, but like later in the game, I think the Lampad does the same thing that the Rapid Flames does, is that later in the game, if we're like needing to get those last couple of points of damage in, and we have like 3 creatures on the field that are too small to attack through, then we just use the Lampad 3 times, sack 3 creatures, and deal them the last 3 damage and kill them. But
I also kind of like the lose 1 life of your opponent and gain 1 life yourself, because I feel like if you have this out in the beginning of the game, then that's going to benefit you.
well, you have to sack a creature to do it.
Oh.
It's 1 mana, sack a creature, and they lose 1, you gain 1. But
Okay, so it's not when things die, you have to actually kill them for it.
and it's a mana each time.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's why I was saying, like, if Rapid Flames and Lampad do the same thing, and we got rid of one of the Rapid Flames, we can get rid of 1 Lampad, if you like.
Okay.
I don't hate that. So, 2 more cards to cut. What does Hateful Eidolon care about? Whenever an enchanted creature dies, draw a card for each aura you control that was attached to it. So we have an aura here, we have an aura here, we have an aura here, we have an aura here.
Okay, so
That's
it sounds like
4.
we keep the Eidolon.
Yeah, that's 4. So the cool thing about Final Flare, combined with like the Akroan War, is if we can gain control. Like the interesting thing about the first chapter of the Akroan War, taking their creature as long as this is on the field, is that when the 3rd chapter activates, like you want to have attacked with their creature so that it's tapped, so that each tapped creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. Actually, that doesn't work that way, does it? No, it doesn't, because it's after you draw your card.
Oh.
So you've untapped your upkeep, you draw. So at some point during the Akroan War's existence on the field, you want to use Final Flare to sack their thing to deal 5 damage to something. Technically. Which is kind of rough. Like, they might just get something back after everything else has died, but I think that's fine.
Fine enough to keep it?
To keep the Akroan War? I'd like to at least try it.
Okay.
We have 2 cuts left to make. I guess if we're trying to be aggressive, then you want to take this out. This does take a while to get going, but we do get to steal something as soon as it comes in.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of nice. But
And
it
makes
cost 4.
and it makes their creatures have to attack if able.
Oh, yeah.
So they can't block us because they will have attacked.
Yeah, that's kind of nice.
Yeah. And then each tapped creature on our turn, when we will not have any tapped creatures as soon as we untap, deal damage equal to them to themselves equal to their
Yeah,
power.
I like that card. I
Yeah,
do.
so do I. Okay. Well, here's our issue, though. I think we have enough devotion to black to make this work, so that's fine. Because when this comes in, it alone has 2.
Right.
So that's -2 automatically.
All right,
and if we
so
have
then maybe we decide if we're not taking out the
this guy,
the catapult blast, whatever it is.
Sure.
Then we're not taking out black.
Right. That wasn't the. Well, we only need 2
So-
more cuts. We can't take out
All
black.
right, so we have to take out red.
Oh, I see what you mean. So take out 2 red cards.
Yes.
Okay. Well, there's escape velocity, infuriate, careless celebrant, incendiary oracle, hero of the games, stampede rider, aspect, final flare, wrap in flames, a crow in war, Iroas's blessing, Scophos war leader, or Nyxborn brute.
Go back to the war leader.
So he's 5 mana for a 4/5, and then you can tap a red, sack another creature or an enchantment, and he gets +1/+0 and menace until end of turn.
Oh, the menace is good.
Yes.
I was like, why is he so good?
Yes.
I don't remember him being good now.
And again,
until you read menace.
right. And again, sack another creature or enchantment, so it's another way to get rid of what we steal with this.
Yeah. Damn it. I don't know, Joe. Figure it out. I can't do this.
Yeah, thanks. I totally can. Don't worry. It's great and easy to do.
We can do a short time lapse in this portion of the video.
I would feel like we almost already have.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, that's fine. We can do that.
This is rough.
It's
I
very
don't
tough.
know.
It's very difficult.
Wait, go back to the Stampede Rider.
It's a 2/3.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of each combat, if we control a creature with power 4 or greater, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn.
Each combat. Okay, that's really good.
I mean, we don't care about blocking. Ever.
Do we still control creatures with power 4 or greater?
I mean, that's irrelevant. Like, again, you're going to have, like, aspect on things. You're going to have Iroas's blessing on things.
Right.
This has
Okay, we
7
had
power.
lots
This
of
has 4
plussies.
power.
Lots of plussy guys. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, looking at our little curve, what do we think getting rid of makes?
Nothing. Our curve looks great.
Damn it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, our curve looks great. Like, I might get rid of Wrap in Flames.
What's the Triton? Oh,
2/1
yes.
Death
Okay,
Touch.
no, never mind.
Enters mills 2.
Maybe we get rid of
gains 2.
Temple Thief.
Okay.
I don't think that's super
Okay.
impactful getting rid of that.
Okay. So Temple Thief comes out. And I want to get rid of one of these.
Okay.
Which do you not like the most?
It's tough because
Yeah.
Final Flare is good against one thing that's really bad, and Wrap in Flames is good against 3 things that are kind of bad.
So do you think that they would have more creatures on the field or less creatures on the field?
The thing with Final Flare is it's gonna deal 5 damage.
To one thing,
To
and you have
one
to sack
thing.
something to play it.
Right. That also means that the thing you're trying to kill is something that's real big. Like, how many things are they really going to have? But at the same time, if they do have one thing that this could benefit us, it's going to kick our ass otherwise.
Correct.
And the Wrap in Flames isn't going to do that much to it. It's still going to, you know what I mean?
Correct. I've said in the past, I think Wrap in Flames is the kind of card where you play it the turn you think you're going to win.
Yeah. So maybe we take that one out.
Okay. All right. So then
Because
that's
I
our
don't
deck.
think we want to waste a slot on a card that we really only use when we think we're going to win.
Okay.
If we think we're going to win, then we don't need that card.
Sure. All right. So,
Right?
yeah, I agree. And people are more than welcome to leave in the comments their thoughts because, again, we're not wrong, right? This is our deck. We're choosing to make it that way. And we're making decisions. If you would have made different decisions and you think it's somewhat blatantly obvious and we've made the wrong one, we'd love to hear from you kind of no matter what.
Yeah.
What would you do in this situation? It's kind of tough, I won't lie.
And actually, looking at the curve, I like it better now.
Yeah.
Than I liked it a second ago.
Okay.
So there we go. I think we've made our decision here.
Cool. So, this is our deck.
Okay.
Do you like our cover art?
I love our
Of the
cover art.
the top third of the Acrone War.
Love it.
Okay, so then this is going to be our deck. Hopefully you all enjoyed this draft video. Please stay tuned next week when we will be out with the games portion of this draft video. And hopefully we'll actually be able to finish it without Wizards deciding that this format doesn't need to exist on MTG Arena either. Saltiness. Anyway, super annoying.
Saltiness before we even begin.
It's just frustrating, man. It sucks.
No,
We had a pretty cool deck.
Absolutely.
Anyway, that's really neither here nor there. Like I said, I really hope that everybody enjoyed. Please feel free to do all the fun YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, get notifications about our videos from this channel. You can check out our other two channels,
Yes,
Video
please
Games
do.
for All and Gluten Free for All. Those will be popping up on the screen along with videos. You can check out those videos as well. Everything that you would do among that list helps us out a lot, but also we hope that you enjoy what we do. It's kind of why we do it.
Yeah.
So, for now, from us here at the Geek for All family of channels, I have been Joe.
And I'm Amy.
And as we always say, in whichever video of ours you watch next, we will see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.